And now we're just about at 7 o'clock, and is Lilly here?
Yes, I am.
All right, Lilly. Now, Lilly, I didn't say anything to Ross about it because I think he knows the gong rules. But just so you know, the gong rules is that we don't have a timer per se, but if it starts to be getting repetitive, we reserve the right to get the gong, which means your time is up. So, that being said, I'd like to introduce, this is Lilly Tang Williams, who's a candidate for the U.S. House of Representatives in CD2. Welcome.
Thank you. John, could you get more of the palm cards? In the back table there, I need more palm cards. How many minutes do I have this year?
Just go ahead, just start.
Oh, okay. You trust me, will not repeat myself. Like a Biden.
10 minutes is a good rule. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, people start to drift.
Yeah, right. Well, thank you for having me. I appreciate it. This is a very nice setting. And that's my husband. I came here with me here. Yeah, I'm in the front row. Thank you. And I met him the first night when I come over from China in Texas. So now we've been married for 32 years with 3 wonderful children. And you can see my children, beautiful children on the back. I'm not very objective here, okay? So we have number 1, number 2, and number 3. And they came to visit New Hampshire last October. So in our backyard, we took this beautiful picture to show you. And I'm very blessed in this country. When I first come to this country, I was 2 months before my 24th birthday. And it took me 2 years to plan my escape. Otherwise, you cannot get a permission to leave. You cannot apply for passport. You cannot even be allowed to quit your job without paying the salaries back if they want to hold you, against your will inside of China. So I survived the Mao's Cultural Revolution. When he died, I was 12 years old. And 12 years old, I think that was when I first time started to question everything I got from my education. It's like, oh, he was human, he was not God. But we have been singing for Long Live Chiang Mai Mao for all my student career up to that point. Not just say Long Live Chiang Mai Mao, you have to say 10,000 years, double 10,000 years, another 10,000 years. Wonder why I never questioned, is he God or is he human? It's like, what many years he can live? I was so indoctrinated as a child. I can see Mao talking to me from the sky and smiling to me in the fire when we burn wood to do Chinese stir fry, under their wok.
Did you used to have to learn the Little Red Book?
Hold the Little Red Book. When I was in government schools, every day we supposed to remember all his quotations, like the political fire, power come from a barrel of guns, stuff like that. I was just an elementary school student. I did not know what they were talking about. Hey, but I was best student because I had good memories. I still do have good memories. So you just remember the codes, and then I get awarded. I was born into workers' family. My parents were just regular illiterate workers, and under communism, workers rule, but was all lies because we did not rule anything. We're starving. Our food rationing coupons depends on my parents' positions inside of the Communist Party. So my childhood memory is just hunger, extreme poverty, very poor living, primitive living conditions with 8 families share 1 bathroom. And then you, everyday politics in your face. You cannot really live off the grades. Our apartment, community housing from my dad's state factory is next to my school. Every morning, 6:30, the big loudspeaker come on, like you watch in the Nazi movies, right? Concentration camp. You cannot sleep in. They come on very loud. Time to wake up. Time to go to school. Long live Chiang Mai Mao, ba 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 ba. And then you just go to work and go to school like a machine, like a robot. And someday I'm gonna write a book about that. So long story short, since I have limited time, I woke up at 12 years old. Just first time ask a question. Okay, somebody lied to me. I need to go to search for truth. Even though my parents were illiterate, I had a good memory, I had a good intelligence, I had some brain left. I studied very hard to trying to pass nationalized college exam to go to best college in China possible to study law. I say, hey, maybe if China has rule of law, maybe people will get protected and no madman can rule the country for years and years, you know, and enslave everybody. But in law school in Shanghai, which is college degree, I think I lost my soul again because the party told us, what is law? Law is a tool for the party to use to govern the masses. It's not for justice. It's not for equality, protection. So I become a very rebellious teenager. My awakening process started in college is by going to, at the beginning, illegal dancing parties and meeting foreigners and talk about stuff we're not supposed to talk about. And when I was third year college student, I met an American student. He told me about Declaration of Independence, about Constitution. He just showed me little thing from his pocket, you know. And my English was very poor, and I did not know. So I learned, I said, oh, this country is so cool. All men are pretty equal. Doesn't matter what skin color, what gender I have, and my rights from God, from my creator, not from government. And I think my light bulb never turned off after that. So I said, someday if I have to escape China, this is the country I want to come. So, okay, 2 years escape. I had to get permission to live and find an American sponsor to sponsor me to come to graduate school in the US. And I had to raise money. I had to go get my passport, 7 trips. And then 3 trips get my US visa with all the paperwork. When I finally made here in 1988, May 11th, and that was the happiest day of my life, even though I had nothing. I had $100 in my pocket. I was in debt, $1,200 to my American sponsor, professor at UT Austin, Texas, and I couldn't speak English. I was just basically to say, I'm gonna come here, I'm gonna make it. Because I signed an agreement with my party boss in law school. If I don't go back after my graduate degree, they're gonna kick me outside of, out of the party. Well, of course, I was forced to join because to become law school faculty, you must be Communist Party member. Otherwise, they question your loyalty, you know. And I was on probational status anyway. And then I had to sign another one if I don't go back to China on time, and they're gonna kick my personnel file, my household registration back to Chengdu, which is Western China. It's like the West Texas, next to Tibet. And not in Shanghai. It's very difficult to go back to Shanghai without legal resident status of your household registration. So even today with the job offer, if you go to Shanghai from Chengdu, it might take you 10 years to transfer your legal status. It's not like America. You can just move from state to state, pack your bag. Goodbye, Mom, I'm moving to California. That's what my son told me. And I just say, wow, how easy it is. He just rents a new home, he's gone, We had to get permission to leave. And our youth don't understand what kind of freedom we have here. They take that for granted. Okay, it took me 20 years with my husband's help in this country to really learn language, culture, constitutional republic, and free market capitalism. So it took me 20 years to get rid of all my indoctrination from my native country and then really act like citizen, act like owner of this country. And that's when I realized I don't recognize America. It's not the same country I came here for. So I said, I'm gonna get, really active. I get mad, yell at the TV, and my husband said, well, go out, do something, And I said, okay, I will, I put money where my mouth is. I started to go to meetings. I think the first time, it was 2008. I think I called some hotline on TV to oppose, the bailout or something. And I was Republican for many years until that point. I got so mad, and I said I got to do something, And so long story short, I become independent thinking 2008, and the first time I testified in Colorado and state capitol, it was against gun control 2013. Read my first open ad in America, Guns Against Tyranny, published by National Review. It's on my website if you go to my blog. And with my broken English, with good editing, I published my article to say we don't want any gun control in this country. And I testified, we all lost. Colorado was dominated, controlled by Democrats. They voted the party and I got very scared, I was so afraid of guns, why are they doing this? Why are they doing this like China? And so I start to run for office. I become a charter school board member, HOA board member, later charter school chair, and I fired the principal. I feel so empowered. As I gave her the call. I represent the governing council of this charter school, and we're not renewing contract. I never feel like I was calm, I was professional, but we had the power as parents and governing board for the parents to fire the principal we don't like to hire. That was great. And I got involved with state capitol and took an internship with the budget committee in Colorado, and I ran for office, and I ran for office in Colorado as a libertarian. You might see some attacks on my campaign from Facebook, some opponent. Yes, I was Republican. Yes, I was a libertarian candidate because I got upset with the Republican Party, and I did everything I could to save the country, educate the youth about the horror of communism and socialism. And for past 5 years. And I moved here for more freedom. I saw what's coming in Colorado. And last 2 years, I could not even sleep well. I was having PTSD. I come here for more freedom. This is live free or die state. And we know what happened during the pandemic. And we know what happened during the past 2 years in our country. I call that neo-Marxist cultural revolution. I survived. First one in China. And I'm going through second one with you guys. Either you know it or not. But I know the writings on the wall. That's why I'm running for Congress. Because my slogan, I fear the country I love, is becoming the country I left. I have been organizing aging Americans here in New Hampshire. We hold an anti-critical race theory rally last April in state capitol. I just thought, hey, 90% white people, some are very afraid to speak up because they're afraid to be called racist. I don't care. They can call me whatever they want. So I will go out, I will organize to reject critical race theory, reject 1619 Project, because immigrants like me, we love America. Tell me another country I can go to, do whatever I'm doing, and even running for Congress. So I'm the best person to argue, debate, and Custer. She cannot play gender card against me, and she cannot play race card against me. And I can just call her socialist. And communist. How is that? Thank you.
Do you have some goals? If you were to get the nomination and win the general election and get to Congress, what are some of your goals?
So my goals here on the back of my palm card, top 6 priority issues. Inflation is on the mind of every citizen in this country. This is the highest inflation since I came to the United States. It's killing our American dreams. My kids, who are young adults, cannot afford anything, cannot even afford drive a couple hours to go a date. The date online now, Zoom call. Because they cannot afford lots of things. Rent is going up and food is going up. And Democrats blame everything else except their bad economical policies and printing money out of thin air. And how many times have we ever had an even budget? The Congress have failed to have a budget. It's always a continuing resolution. They are totally failing in the job they're supposed to do, that per the Constitution they don't do it. Even when Republicans control all chambers of government, what do they do? I'm very, very upset about that. Good news today. This morning I got National Tea Party Express endorsement. Yes. And you can go to their website or my social media, and they name me and the pictures and my stories. They feel like I'm the best person. I will not sell out. I will not compromise. I'm a totally fiscal conservative. I will not vote for any more taxes. I will not vote for any of the stuff they're having right now. I also will call out rhinos in the Congress, not the Democrats. Rhinos are Democrats light. They make deals behind our back. They forgot they represented people, not the special interests, not the cronies who donate lots of money to their campaign. So to give you campaign issues, number 2, very dear to my heart, defend parental rights. My parents, my grandparents had nothing, no parental rights at all. Our parents, our children belong to us. I have 3 children. I know what's like. You worry about them, and that's close bond you have with your children. But the teachers' unions think, no, you don't have to know what we're teaching to your children. So teachers' unions hate me. Just remember that. They might donate to my opponents, not me, because I testify in Concord many times online during pandemic and go to Concord against them. One time, I was going there with a like a Chow Kelly. You all know Chow Kelly, Vietnamese girl. People sometimes mix up together with 2 immigrant women, all about short height, against 20 teachers union people with students there. They want to repeal our state law to not to teach divisive concept inside the classrooms because they're afraid to teach real history. I say, are you kidding? You're afraid to teach real history? If you did, our kids would not be worshiping socialism. Yeah, so they hate me. But they had no question for me, so I'm not going to get any of their support. And also transgenderism, leave all their choices to adults when they're 18. Leave our kids alone.
Yes.
Yes.
I defend girls' sports. They talk about women's rights only when it comes to abortion, but they never defend women otherwise. Biological men are competing with a biological woman. Is that fair? Our girls' dreams are crushed. It's not fair. Our female prisoners getting pregnant by males identified as females so can go make a woman pregnant. So where is protection and feminist when it comes to our women's rights inside of even prisons and justice system? Just imagine, I debate Ancaster, ask her to answer my questions. So you only talk about abortion is the only choice for life, but you don't talk about other women's issues. Do you really care about women? You just want to use women as pawns to advance your agenda on abortion. Right?
Yeah.
Call them out. And lots of women, including Democrat women. I gave a talk one time in Connecticut. Democrat woman wrote to me anonymous letter to thank me. They are that afraid to speak up because they can lose their job, lose their careers, but they told me, how to defeat the Democrat narratives. I can't even thank her because I don't know who she is. but that's what I'm saying. And protect freedom of speech. I think we have to absolutely ask Supreme Court take up some lawsuits against big tech. Their censorship is out of control. I have to whisper in Mouth China now. I have to worry about what I'm going to say on social media so I don't go to jail on social media. I have 25,000 followers on my page, Lilly for Congress. I get a shadow ban all the time. Well, sometimes I post something anti-CCP. I just don't get lots of people say that post. I get the jail time all the time. And so I will be absolutely starchy defender of free speech. Otherwise, we cannot think freely. We cannot express freely. It will be end of the society. So last resort, we have to hold on to our guns. But I prefer we use our tongue, we use our mouth, we use our speech, we use our ideas and thoughts to fight back the Marxists taking over. So start with free speech. Of course, stop radical left policies. They don't call it CRT anymore. They call social emotional learning. They call all the fancy words. Redefine the definitions of lots of words like recession, define woman, stuff like that. So I list all that on my website. And the energy, of course. And I was on radio this morning in Kings, on Kings radio, talking about that they declare war on oil and gas the first day when Biden got elected. Do not blame just the Ukraine war. There are lots of things to blame ourselves. Bad energy policies. And who's going to invest if you're going to demonize oil and gas all the time? And we need to explore all scalable, and modern technology to develop all energy sources. Renewables, only 20% of our current use. How can you just shut down everything? Wonder why people are paying for high prices, Because we still need oil and gas. We need all kinds of energies. Last one, secure U.S. borders. And I need to make my record clear. If you look at my survey to Pelham newspaper survey, I mentioned about when I was talking about DACA and Dreamers, they come here as children, and I supported Trump's policy, build the wall, secure our borders, then we can have a condition for those children who came here very little to have a legal status. And Democrats played politics. $5 billion to finish the war, they did not give to Trump. They gave $40 billion to Ukraine, but they did not give Trump $5 billion. So that issue is still hanging up in the air. And they just drag on, play politics. This, I am immigrant. I support legal immigration. Our economy grows and legal immigrants like me come here, live my American dream, and work butt off to achieve that. My brother waited 13 years to immigrate to this country legally, as me as a citizen petition for him. He wasted all that time waiting. Now he's like I call him like a little old man now, my younger brother. He's working for Walmart throughout the entire pandemic where other people staying home getting unemployment. So they're hardworking people trying to come here, contribute to the economy and pay taxes and live the American dream. So when you get a chaos in the southern border, catch and release 2 hours, they're in the country, it's a slap in the face to all the immigrants who are waiting in line legally who want to come here. So if you look at
Lily, let's see if we have any questions from anybody in the audience.
yes, please ask me any questions.
Questions? So it looks like you've covered it all. Thank you very much.
Well, let's have one. We should be polite.
Okay.
So when you're elected, what is the very first bill that you want to introduce in Congress?
I already talked about that. I will work with I will join Freedom Caucus. I will work with Thomas Massey to rewrite his bill, abolish Department of Education.
Yeah.
Get back to local. Talk about local control and local public schools, but not government indoctrination centers. And of course, there's lots of wish lists. Balanced budget, national, constitutional carry, and all that good stuff. But you can trust me. I will be live streamed from Congress floor, so you can watch me, and I will explain my vote.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.
Cooked.